Jupiter and its moons. In the past, Jupiter was considered a likely candidate for finding extraterrestrial life, that is, compared with the other gas giants in our solar system. Its outer atmosphere was known to be cold enough to instantly freeze anyone to death, and its gaseous surface of methane and ammonia would kill anyone just as quickly, but some scientists insisted that balance could be found in between these regions. A part of its atmosphere was believed to be able to sustain life, buoyant, floating organisms, much like hovering jellyfish. These hypothesized creatures would neither rise too far into the frigid zones nor sink too low to the burning depths. This belief has since been found to be highly implausible. Jupiter's moons, however, are some of the most promising sites in the solar system in the search for alien life, and legitimate theories posit the existence of life there even today. Ganymede, Jupiter's largest moon, may contain saline-infused waters between layers of ice. Europa, meanwhile, is highly believed to harbor alien life forms, owing to the vast subterranean sea underneath its icy exterior. Io, the closest large moon to Jupiter, is a far poorer candidate. It's constantly bombarded by fatal radiation. Nonetheless, not everyone rules out the possibility of life there. According to Washington State University astrobiologist Dirk Schultz-Mackuk, may have contained liquid water billions of years ago. He suggests that if microbes existed then, they would have adapted and crawled beneath the surface to avoid doom. Thomas Dick's 50 billion Venusians. In the 1830s, Scottish minister and amateur astronomer Thomas Dick set out to calculate the precise number of inhabitants in our solar system. Mr. Dick assumed that all heavenly bodies had life, and his interplanetary census used the population of Great Britain at the time as a reference point. He concluded that 50 billion creatures were living on Venus. Dick added quite a few more bold statements. Mars had 15 billion Martians. Jupiter had 7 trillion Jupiterinos, or Jovians perhaps, and Saturn was occupied by 8 trillion Saturnines. It may seem odd that Jupiter would have a lower population than smaller Saturn, and Dick claimed that this figure for Saturn was from its rings alone, not even counting the actual planet. The population figures for our entire solar system added up to 22 trillion individuals, not counting the Sun, which according to Dick could single-handedly support 31 times that figure. Solarians. People other than Thomas Dick have thought that the Sun is inhabited. In 1440, theologian and mathematician Nicholas of Cusa wrote of a place in the Sun where solar beings, bright and enlightened intellectual denizens, existed. These beings were more attuned to their spirituality compared to those who lived on the Moon, lunatics. Cusa did not get burned at the stake or excommunicated for his belief in aliens. He became a cardinal years later. Early Mormon leaders such as Brigham Young believed similar theories. Young stated that the Sun was obviously inhabited, for it was not made in vain. It was made to give light to those who dwell upon it and other planets. Aliens in the stratosphere. Perhaps we don't have to look far to prove that we are not alone. Alien beings may be hovering just a short distance up in the atmosphere. During the peak of the Perseid meteor shower on August 12, 2013, astrobiologists from the University of Sheffield launched a balloon 27 kilometers, 17 miles, into the stratosphere. Lead researcher Milton Wainwright was astounded at the results, claiming that the balloon had come back with traces of alien life. Wainwright said that these particles were too heavy to have come from the ground, therefore, they were definitely alien in origin. Skeptics criticized the findings. Similar reports had previously turned out to be erroneous. Wainwright's credibility was also put into question, as he believes in the theory of panspermia, the extraterrestrial origin of Earth's biological life through meteor showers. Wainwright's beliefs might have clouded his judgment and his study's conclusion. crazy experiments to contact Martians. In 1820, German mathematician Carl Friedrich Gauss sought to incorporate the work of Pythagoras in his quest to communicate with alien life on Mars. Gauss suggested clearing a large patch of Siberia and planting wheat for miles in a shape that geometrically illustrates the Pythagorean theorem. By harvest season, the bright yellow crop-filled areas would contrast with the forest's darker coloring. Gauss believed that Martian observers could spot this gigantic triangle on Earth with a small telescope. Other odd ideas were also popular during the 19th century. Astronomer Joseph Literal suggested digging trenches measuring 30 kilometers, 20 miles, in length and shaped in various geometric patterns across the Sahara. We then fill them with kerosene and light them up. A Frenchman, Charles Gros, suggested building a huge mirror that could focus sunlight and burn messages into the very surface of Mars.